just real quick, tell me in 20 to 30 seconds, yes or no, and why. Do you think Julius Randle is a Knicks franchise player, or can develop to be?
Oh, absolutely, no question. I think he can because of the way he came through the league. He made a step every year. Every year, his career, he got better and better. Now he around a coach and an organization and a coaching staff who's teaching him the true nuances of basketball. Because when he was in LA, he was a young, broke his leg in his first year, but I think he's 5 years into the league, 6 years, and he done developed every year. Julius Randle got better. Now he was structuring an organization. Absolutely, I can see Julius Randle because he has a work ethic that like he said, what was that quote he had like that, which was so supreme. I like what you said last night, that with a quote he made pertaining to that. But anyway, yeah, absolutely, Julius Randle could be a franchise player because he's the type of guy that wanted. He won.
Hard work's always undefeated.
Undefeated, exactly, and that's what he do. Julius Randle puts in work real hard, and I think he definitely could be a Knicks franchise player, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Steph,
I agree with Devon. Part of being a franchise player is your game, but it's also your mentality, and you could just see his approach to the game has changed in that first quarter. He was serious. He was talking to somebody in that first quarter. I don't know what he was saying to them, but he was serious. Like, we on a roll and we need to keep this up and everybody needs to be focused for this game. So I definitely believe that. And I feel like for the first time in a long time, the Knicks got one. I mean, we just been such bad luck, you know what I mean? And we finally traded for somebody who we thought was ascending. Last year was a mess for everybody, so we weren't quite sure. But we can see right now this guy is ascending. And I think right now he is our franchise player. Now, depending on who else, we bring in, if we bring in somebody better than him, like Kawhi or something, maybe it changes. But right now he is.
Okay. Andy, what do you think?
The same question, right? I was thinking I'm going to get another one.
Yeah. I want to know. I want to know what a few people think.
I think to get the franchise player tag, it still might be a bit too early for Julius, but we got to acknowledge that he got here, 1 year too early because, that last season was basically, maybe not catastrophic, but it was really bad for him, right? Seeing the new coaching staff, because, the roster didn't change that much, but the coaching staff definitely upgraded and switched up the tactics, the philosophy of the game for the whole franchise in a way that Julius perfectly fits in here with it. That's why he might look like a franchise player for this team. But, if you would trade him to another team, I'm not sure he can be the number one guy with a really young coach, with a really young squad. Like, imagine you trade him to Sacramento or even from the De'Aaron Fox. I don't think he can be the main horse, in that kind of franchise. So I think it might be a little bit too early, but it's like, there were only like maybe 5-10 players in the whole history of the NBA that when they came in the league, you could name them franchise players. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's a developing thing that you can earn even at the age of 30. So then you can get the tag, okay, I'm going to be the franchise player, and you're going to get the money with it. You're going to get the stardom with it. And rest of the perks and the cons, right? So I think it's a really complicated question, if you ask me. But I think he's on a really good path, and the situation around him is really good for him getting that franchise tag.
Okay, Gambo, I seen you shaking your head too. What do you think? Assuming that you agree with what Andy was saying, what would Julius Randle need to do to be able to say, yeah, this is the guy that we're gonna build around as a franchise guy?
Hey, I apologize. I was partially shaking my head because Liverpool just scored in the Champions League, and I hate Liverpool.
Yeah, so. I figured that out because you always agree with me.
First of all, me and Andy got into a battle over European versus U.S. basketball.
I seen it.
Yeah. So, no, Andy makes perfect sense. First and foremost, there's always a cynical in me. I got to see it, a little bit more. 1 year of the superlative play again. I give all the credit to Julius Randle to change his game around. But again, he has a contract up in a year or so. Assuming they pick up the option, right? And the cynicism in me, man. I've seen the Tim Thomases before. I've seen the contract year guys put it on to get that contract. Again, I'm not saying it's Julius Randle, but I got to see a lot more from him. And also another thing to consider: when you get more talent around him, will he go back to? Will he be the guy to try to be the alpha dog? Will he concede? Will he, concede and compromise part of his game to make other guys better? Will he play the Chris Webber role where instead of maybe 23 points, given that, say, you get more talent on the team, he dips it down to a 17 and 8, but he's giving more hockey passes. He's doing a lot more dirty work to get guys in better positioning. So it's going to take some. Oh crap! Sorry. What the hell?
That was the rest of the panel going.
My bad. I apologize. I don't know what the hell's happening with my computer. But
Isaiah too long, man.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Isaiah just his awfulness rubbing off on me. Pause. That's just it with Julius Randle, man. I got to wait and see, man. We have time. You pick up the option. We have all the leverage right now, but I'm not saying you said it, but to give him a contract now, I think is a little bit premature, and to even anoint him. I mean, it's one half of basketball. We'll see how he. We'll see how he progresses, but right now it's good. But I would, franchise player. I don't know. I don't know if I can say that right now.
No, I mean, you know what? I get it. No one knows if you can say that, but no one knows it about any player until they become the franchise player, right? Any player comes into the league and they play, and only a few guys have come in, and you just knew right away that they was the franchise guy. Most guys take a little while to develop, and it has to come from their talent, but it also has to come with this upstairs. And, you got to learn a few things. You got to learn how to be able to handle the double teams and the triple teams, and you got to learn how to make the right play when it's time to make the right play. I think he's I don't want to say he's saying it but not doing it. He says the right things, and I think he's doing the right things. Like they asked him in the post game, you had a chance to score your career high, but you passed it to Emmanuel quickly so that he could take the shot. And he said, basically, paraphrasing, I just want to continue doing the right things so the team can win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the habits of doing the right things all the time so the team can win. And I think that's the right mentality. He has a lot of physical tools. I think his offensive game still needs some refining. Right, his floor game, seeing the floor and those type of things, I think still needs a lot of refining. But he's doing a lot, and he's taking a lot of steps towards it. And if he can become a little more prolific as a scorer, I think you can start to put him in that type of conversation. And the way that his mid-range shot has developed this year has been magnificent. A lot of people talk about the three-point shooting. That's great. But that mid-range game that you seen him trying to shoot last year, but it wasn't really there, has really taken off this season, I think. Every time he sweeps through and then he can hang a little bit, get the foul, knock it down. He's got a nice, sweet fallback jump shot that he's really been successful with. We'll see if he can continue to do that and continue to ascend,
He's also a smarter player. I mean, granted, I think that's because of the coaching. You see him when he draws fouls. I believe his free throw draw rate is actually higher this year than last year. But whenever and I think it's a Tom Thibodeau thing where it's like if you have any defender keeping their hand out there, make sure to draw that contact. And you've seen it where people get overzealous when the shot clock is winding down. He has a ball in his hands and he'll draw that foul. I've seen Quickly do it. But Randle is a guy that I got to give it to him. He's taking to coaching. Even yesterday, you saw what Derrick Rose talking to him. He took to it. So I give him all the credit in the world for changing his game.
Yeah.
I don't think. But do you think he's changed his game, or he's just
Yes.
more efficient?
No, he's changed. Well, that
Yeah,
he's
I
definitely
think he
changed the
has.
game.
Yeah,
If you look at his assists, his potential assists, secondary assists, they're all up drastically.
But you know what though? But you know what though? I'm gonna tell you the truth. Last year, and I said this in the coach's corner before the season even started. Last season, he created so many wide open 3-point shots for other people, and they missed them.
They missed
Right.
They missed it.
Where he averaged
Yeah.
3 assists, he could have been averaging 5 or 6 assists last year, in my opinion, because he
People miss.
attracted so much attention, and when he did kick it out, I'm talking wide open shots. We talked about it in the coach's corner how no other player for the Knicks was able to get RJ and Bullock and whoever else wide open shots, and they just couldn't hit them joints last year. Where I think his assists could have been higher.
But if you look at his, if you look at his secondary and the potential assists, those are still up. So I mean, he's even doing more of that.
No, I'm not
and
saying
you
he's
see
not.
less of the.
He's doing more.
So right, but still, I mean, take what he's doing there and then subtract the needless spin moves, right? Even if you're trying to create something, you know, there's a certain way to create. Like whenever Randle takes those the Brahma Bull step into the foul line and shoots that little fadeaway, the baseline jumper, I have no problem because that's his game. But when you were, and granted, we had guys who couldn't hit certain shots, and Fizdale's not a good coach, or wasn't a good coach. Neither was Mike Miller for the most part. But you always, I mean, you would have seen that the hockey assists and the potential assists should have still been up. You have to make the right basketball play. You know, sometimes you could try to create, but you saw where it's like he was trying to do a little bit too much. It was just clunky.
Right.
The stupid.
Right.
Well, yeah.
But do you think he changed his game, or he's just better?
Denying that.
He changed it. Less spin moves. We didn't see a spin move basically the whole season.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
I
a
saw
change.
one, but
Right.
it was just one, and that was it.
But I think it's
fine, though. When he did the spin moves, it's like he's doing it. It's one nice spin move on the guy, and it's not in traffic. It's not amongst a whole bunch of people.
that's,
Even
to me,
double teams. When he gets a double
That's
team,
a refinement of his game,
Yeah,
though. I
that's
don't think he's
exactly.
changed his game. It's more refined. He's finding the open player. They're hitting the shots. He's knowing when to make this move, when to not make it. His floor game is much better. He can sense the double team. Unlike
That's still
Eli
change,
Manning, right? Always getting sacked. Like
No. See, to me, Derrick Rose changed his game. Right? Derrick Rose used to play with reckless abandon. I'm going to the hole as hard as I can every time I did. Now he's a little bit more, okay, I'm going to get in here. I'm going to take my time and see what's there. To me, that's changing your game. You know what I'm saying? Refining
Julius
your
Randle
game.
not spinning anymore is not changing his game.
Okay. I'm saying refining it. To me, changing your game is where you play a different game. Like he said last night, I still know what my bread and butter is. My bread and butter is going to the rack, going to the hole. I cut out something of my game that was not working. That doesn't mean you change the entire game.
Right.
Well, no, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? It's not semantics to me because, like I said, Derrick Rose changed his entire basketball game to fit his new body. I don't think he changed everything that he's doing. There's just some things he says, I can't do this. I got to do this now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to pass it here. I'm going to pass it here. You know, I still see him doing a spin move. He just knows when to do it.
Right.
But he didn't stop doing it altogether. I just know when to make the spin and which way to spin.
He improved.
I just think there's a difference between refining something and changing something.
Right.
If Julius Randle wasn't having the year if he wasn't having the year he having right now, how would we look at the Knicks franchise right now? If he wasn't having the year he having right now, how would we talk about the Knicks franchise right now?
Oh, we'd probably be in the dumpster.
That's why he's a franchise player.
Probably.
Right there. Because if Julius Randle wasn't having the year he was having, we would be dogging it. No, the Knicks need to get sorry. That boy putting the Knicks on his back.
Right. And Devon,
that's not
to piggyback off of what you're saying, Devon, and he is the opposing team's main target every game, and he's still getting it done for us on a consistent basis.
He was that last year.
Yeah. And another reason why I think he's on his way to being that franchise player, your players have got to respect you. Mm-hmm. And you saw last night after the game how he was going to be interviewed by Rebecca Harlow. Everybody came to his to that. came to him,
to celebrate with him. Yeah, I think Julius Randle for the last 3 years, he's been putting up 20 something for the last 3 years.
Right.
His game since year 1, 2, 11, 13, 16, 21, 22, 23. He's ascending, and he's growing as a man, and that's why. And you, like I said, I believe he's a franchise player because he plays like one.
And again, if you have the respect for your if you have the respect for your players, that goes a long way. That goes a really long way.
That boy up.
But your most productive player doesn't necessarily mean your franchise. Like it's like the whole superstar star argument. You can have a player who's uber productive in different ways, and they're not necessarily a franchise player. It could be a foundational piece.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
So let me ask you this.
And this is half.
Let him finish.
And real quick, this is half of a season. Like, we gotta chill out. Like, we go through these weird highs and lows. And again, I'm giving all the credit in the world. Actually, really, the star of this team is Tom Thibodeau. But again, with Julius Randle, I'm just saying, like, let's be see, because go ahead.
Yeah, but see, the thing that if he was drafted here, and he was drafted at 22, 23 years old, right? Say he went through college, and he put up the numbers that he was putting up at that age. People would have looked and said, this guy could be your franchise guy. And then he continued to
he's doing that in what, his second year in the league?
No, I'm saying the numbers that he put up in his while he was 22 and 23. I'm saying the actual stats that he put up. If he did that, but he was drafted to the Knicks and he did that, and he continued to ascend the way he's ascending now, people would say this guy could be your franchise guy. Because if you go back and you look at the stats that he was putting up, and he was going 14 and 10, and then 15 and 11, 15 and 10, and then 17 or 18 and 10, and then all of a sudden he was 21 and 10, right? And he had been drafted, and we seen that ascension. People would say, "Yep, he is." But because we brought him in, and he had the one bad season with us, we're in a wait and see mode.
Now, this is the question, though, because it's kind of hard, because obviously this guy was coming over, right? But then why is it that, and again, he left 2 times, right? But do you think that other teams did not see him as that? Like, we talking about if he got drafted here, but other teams per se didn't see him as that. And granted, one team, obviously the Lakers, they, the whole LeBron James going to Hollywood thing was going to happen. But if you have a franchise player, you try to, and you don't have to trade him, right? Some guys coming over a free agent, you would try to keep that so-called franchise player, right? Like, if you could get if you could have got a top shooting guard, you want to pair him with Patrick Ewing, right? So I'm just saying, like
I think that got something to do with Zion Williamson, though. They knew who they franchise player. They was like, Julius Randle, we're not going to sign him.
No. So I'm talking about the Lakers. I'm talking about the Lakers. Like, when he was on the Lakers, he left on his own, but that was because LeBron was coming, right? But you would think that the Lakers would try to make a more concerted effort to keep him, or say, "Yo, we're going to find a way for you guys to play together because you are our franchise player. We do not want you to leave."
Wait, he got traded, didn't he?
No, he left the Lakers.
Randle left.
He left.
But once LeBron came in, you knew he was going to be the franchise player. It was nothing they could say to him to convince him that he would be the franchise player. But go ahead, Sam.
If you have a franchise player, don't you try to keep that guy? Like, if you see it, if you're saying, like,
how if you bringing in LeBron?
And maybe at that time, he might not have been a franchise player, though. At that time, he was a young dude.
But that's the whole point. That goes to what Sim is saying. Sim is saying that if he had the same production here, right? If he was on the same team right now, we would see him, or he's alluding to that, we would see him as a franchise player. What I'm saying is that, okay, well, he was having that production mostly on the Lakers. He played 1 year with the Pelicans. I'm just asking why other people did not see that franchise play, like how you're saying that we might, or we should possibly.
But with the Lakers, the only thing is with the Lakers, they got rid of Brandon Ingram too,
right?
Who was proving that he is. You see what Brandon Ingram is. So, like, with them, who knows, because they were on something totally different. Today's a different time. These guys are coming in younger. We talked about this a lot, coming in younger with different skill sets and different coaching. 1 year high school, this, that, and the third, and everyone's not going to come in like LeBron. You knew as soon as he came in what he was going to be. Most 99% of the players not LeBron, and it takes him a little while to get it. We'll see where it goes with him, man. the only thing that we do know is that the Knicks need to pick up his option, and then I guess make a decision after next season if they're going to extend him. I feel like they're probably going to, but
Yeah,
I think they should pick up his option first. They should just pick up his option.
Give him the money.
I think they should just pick up his option for next year, see how they build the team, and then go from there. You know what I'm saying? Because it has to be, because even if you have a franchise guy, you still got to have players. You know what I'm saying? Andy?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, just to finish up on this franchise thing, because we have probably many topics to talk about. Just a question: to be a franchise player, don't you have to be first a cornerstone player? I didn't hear ever Kevin say he's a cornerstone player even for the Knicks.
No. He wasn't, because cornerstone.
You know what? I'm gonna get a plane ticket to Poland, man. I'm coming after you. I'm gonna get a plane ticket.
In the summer, Kev was done with Julius Randle. He didn't want anything to do with Julius Randle. So
Absolutely.
And he was throwing around the cornerstone tag, whatever.
I said that 110%.
I mean, he
but
gave
now my thinking. I've done some rethinking.
But Kev, you gave the cornerstone tag to Michael Kidd Gilchrist.
I did not. See, now you're telling me.
Defensive cornerstone, yeah, you did.
Defensive cornerstone.
I can't believe you coming on that, man. I can't believe y'all, man.
Can I ask a question real quick? Are there any examples of this happening where, like, recent examples? I'm not saying it. I'm just trying to think of some where somebody has moved from team to team to team.
Kawhi.
But Kawhi was a franchise play with the Spurs. It's just he didn't want to be there.
Yeah, and
I mean,
that's
he
why
didn't start off as a franchise player.
Mello?
Right, no. But I'm saying that. Okay, I'm saying for this, like they like their third team or whatever, like their whatever team. Then it was like, oh crap, they're turning into that. Versus you couldn't really see it before.
I'm looking at
Julius. If a player fits with the team, you
know what? Look at his career stats. In the first year, he broke his leg, played one game. He only played with the Lakers 3 years. He broke his leg in his rookie year. He came back out, went from this level to that level. It ain't like he been from team to team. Only been from the Lakers to the Pelicans with that 1 year, and they came here, something like that. But it ain't like he been bounced around. I think he over exaggerating that. I think that he had a better opportunity. I'm quite sure they would have signed him over there, but he said, "No, I'm gonna go to New York and
yeah, that's the difference between that's the difference between you being valuable and someone signing you as a or keep you as a franchise player. That's the thing I'm saying. Is like I'm not saying he wasn't productive. He did show progress, but I'm just saying it's like.
But my question is, did the Lakers tell him that we're not going to sign you, or did he decide there's not enough room for me here? I'm going to go to the Pelicans.
And maybe at the time when we signed him, maybe Mills and Perry told him probably that we see you being part of our future, big time.
Right.
And now we're really seeing what,
Well, I mean, but to the question, I don't know what happened with the Lakers. If he decided there's not enough room here for me, I want to go because I want to try to get more of a spot, or what. But listen, he's continued to ascend for years, and you can't.
He's having his best year as a pro.
Yeah. So let me get to this phone call. Let me get to a phone call. I'll come back to you, Kareem. Caller, you live. What's poppin'?
No problem. Salute to the chat. Salute to the panel. Salute to you, man. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I really love the show, man. Darius Dior here. First of all, I just want to say, man, I'm so excited to just see where we at right now, right? Just from Linsanity to right now. I'm just glad that we are actually functioning as an organization, right? And so when it comes to this franchise player thing with Julius Randle, the answer is no, he's not a franchise player. But we got to pay him. Like, we just have to pay him his money and give him his roses because we flamed him all last year. Everybody that's on this panel right now that's even doubting the fact that he might be a friend. Now, even if he's not, we just need to pay him because of what he's doing right now and the value that he's adding. I'm more excited about seeing Julius Randle than I was seeing Kristaps Porzingis out there. Like, we just need to pay him, and we really owe this dude an apology. Like, let's just apologize for the way that we flamed him. Now, it probably motivated him to come out and play better, right? But we gave up on this kid, man. Flat out. Just gave up on him. And now he's showing up and he's saying, I took it as fuel. I took it as motivation. Let's just be glad right now. Like, more than anything, let's just be glad that he's out there actually producing. And for those of us that flamed him and was writing him off, like, it's one thing to be mad if he ain't play well. But it's a whole nother thing to just flame his whole game. Like, we got to get out of here. We got to get rid of him. We just don't want this guy. Like, we was wrong, bro. We was wrong. Now, I wasn't one of the ones that was flaming him because I had faith in him and I knew that he was a talented kid. And I know he's not a franchise player. He's really not somebody you put a franchise tag on. But you pay him and you motivate him, right? And then he might get there. He might develop to that. But right now he's a core piece, man.
So you pay him. So get me right. You pay him as if he's a franchise player.
You pay him. We gave Stat $500 million. Well, what did we give him? How much money did we give Stoudemire? We gave him like something crazy, and he broke his back, and we never saw him again.
Right. Now I hear that. I hear that, but
like,
I mean, so you're saying
he's 26 years old.
Right.
Let's pay him. Let's get his money right, and then we're gonna get the production because he's been here. He's been through the booze. He's having a successful season. If we pay, if anybody needs to get paid, it needs to be him.
Okay.
Flat out. Let's max him.
Well, all right. I mean, normally you max your franchise players.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is the answer to the question is no. Right? He's not a franchise player. He's not that. Now.
Okay. Right now. Right now.
He's not. But I would rather not see him get traded away or walk away in free agency and add value to somebody else's team. I feel like this dude is vested, man. He had to listen to us flame him and write him off.
Right. Nah,
I hear you. And it's just because he just had this game where he gave us a 40 ball with 7 threes. Now we're talking about the franchise player. What happened to the guy we wrote off? What happened to the guy that we was like, get him out of here?
Hey, listen.
We don't do that to nobody.
Listen, hold on. Listen, I'm with you. I wasn't one of those guys. You can go back and check the record. I did videos about it and everything. I was not one of those guys. I always thought he was a scapegoat for no reason.
I'm just saying, for no reason.
Yeah.
Good reason.
But good reason, right? People were saying things like, "Oh, he's spinning it." He's just trying to play.
Exactly.
Nothing changed. Roster didn't change. Only thing that changed is his coaching staff. And somebody said it earlier. Tom Thibodeau did this, right? But this is the same kid, that went through a whole season. We always get back 9 injured players. We always do this. And we finally got one. Somebody that could put the numbers up. Let's pay him.
I feel you. All right. Hey, I appreciate the call, man.
Why are we paying him now?
I appreciate the call.
Why are we paying him now? Why are we paying him now?
I don't know if he's saying paying him now. I'm talking about when I think he's saying when the time is right. When the time is right to pay him.
After.
When
you don't want him to get the free agency.
Right. He said I don't want him to get the free agency. I mean the Knicks can.
I don't either.
The Knicks can. They can do whatever, and then they can extend them next year. You know what I'm saying? They can opt to take his contract and then next year extend him before he gets to free agency. Let me get to another phone call.
Calling in for him on his behalf.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
And now we got to give him a
calling you live. What's poppin'?
Hey, how you doing? This is my name is Frank. I'm in LA.
Hey, what's going on,
I've been
Frank?
a long time Knicks fan.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I'm from Jersey. I'm in my 50s. I follow the Knicks religiously.
Nice.
I'm gonna tell you, I agree with the last caller. Randle is not a franchise player. However, we do have to pay him, and we need to pair him with another person. I was one of those last year who was bashing Randle. I bashed him last year. I was ready to run him out of town. But it wasn't all his fault. We had bad coaching. We had Fizdale. We had Fisher. We had Miller. Miller did a little better. We had a 21 win. But I think that what that Tibbs got right now, the coaching staff that he has with him, the trust that Randle has in the coaching staff, we got an all-star. We got to beat him. Now, is he a franchise player? No. But we can get one. We got the money. We got the draft pick. So let's go out and supplement him with somebody else and make him the cornerstone. Thank you.
So before you get off, let me ask you, what's your definition of a franchise player?
My definition, like the other guy, a franchise player would be somebody like a Kawhi, somebody like a James. Those are franchise players, right? But even Kawhi has somebody else. Even James out here has Davis. I mean, one man is not going to be a champion.
Yeah, of course.
This is
Yeah.
sport.
Okay. What was
sport? And so if this man is doing 20 and 10, which the Knicks haven't had, and when we did have Porzingis, he stayed hurt. Like we got Frank, and he's hurt. Randle's durable. Randle's playing every night. Yeah, that spin move, I hate it. But now, when he's spinning, he knows what people are going to be. And so when he passes the ball, he gets it to him, and they're making the shot. Remember, he was spinning last year, and he didn't know where nobody was at. Mm-hmm. He was just straight going for his. But now he's not. He knows where people are going to be when he makes that spin move. So that's why he's playing better. That's why his assist is up. And that coaching, that's why he's scoring more. They're spreading the floor. So you got to give him his due. We haven't had a guy like this in who knows how long. You've got to give that man his due. He needs to get paid and pair him with somebody else. That's why it was a good move for us to get Derrick Rose. He penetrates, he motivates, and he's improving the team. We're on our way. Now, I think we really need a stretch five. That's what I think we really need. We need somebody in the middle that can score. Just rebounding and defense is not enough. We need somebody that can score. So maybe if we just rent Drummond for the rest of the year, Drummond is scoring 17 and 11. That ups our points for the game, each game. We need that extra score. So, yeah, you can bash on Randle all you want, but he's giving us everything he got, and we need to pair him with somebody else, and we on our way. I truly believe that.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the call.
I want to ask a question. Real quick. I'm going to name 4 players. Tell me, are they franchise players? The Joker, is he a franchise player?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The Greek Freak, is he a franchise player?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sabonis, is he a franchise player?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay. The guy from Boston, Tatum.
Yes.
Okay. What Randle could do just as good as those guys right there.
No, he can't.
Yes, he can.
You want me to explain to you?
Maybe not the Joker.
Maybe not the Joker. I'll explain to you right now. I'll break down all 3 of them, maybe even all 4 of them. Tatum is a dominant two-way player. Literally might be MVP.
But you don't have to be a two-way player to be a franchise player, though.
Real quick. Tatum is literally a dominant two-way player who's been doing it for several years, been showing ascension for several years. Probably more ascension. I'm not itching on Randle's progress more than Randle. Jokic is literally the best center in the league. Unless you want to say AD, if you want to put him in that category, fair enough, right? Jokic is literally that dominant. Granted, he does have player on his teams, but he is that dominant and at times unstoppable offensively. And who's the other guy you named? Giannis. One year, the year Giannis won an MVP, he was number 1 in defensive win shares, number 3 in offensive win shares. Uber dominant. You're naming dominant players. Randle has been has been playing this way and has been this productive for literally and at this level right now for almost half a season versus guys who literally had a several 2, 3 year, 4 year track record of doing this.
Well, Sam.
Well, you know, some of those guys too also benefited from having way better teams that.
Right.
I mean, Jason Tatum came into a team that was already good.
I don't think Tatum is dominant either.
I mean, I love Jason Tatum. He came into, you can't deny that he came into a team that's already good. So it's not like you're saying he made this team good. They were already very, very good.
Yeah,
they weren't
still good largely because of his dominant play.
I'll give you one more.
I'm not saying that he's. Hold up. I'm not saying that they're not. What I'm saying is that he came into a team that was already good. And if he went to a team that wasn't good and was putting up the same stats, people would say maybe he's not.
Right.
He's putting up empty
impact,
stats.
forget about that. The impact he has now, they're this way when he's healthy. I mean, he was out when we played him. But
You're not understanding what I'm saying. You're not understanding what I'm saying.
You don't think he would be playing as well?
We're projecting of like if he went here. No, let's talk about what he's doing.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. You're not clearly not understanding what I'm saying. Go ahead, Andy.
Apples and oranges.
Go ahead, Andy.
It's not apples and oranges. He's literally
You're trying to compare Tatum, who's dominant on a very good team, to Randle, who's dominant on another team, and to say Randle is not good because he's not on a good team.
Tim, can you hear me?
Well, I didn't say, no one said Randle's not good. Well, I don't know where you got that
from.
No,
what I'm saying, I'm going to come to Kareem, then I'm going to come to Andy. What I'm saying is, yes, Jason Tatum is putting up those numbers. He came into a team that was already good, so it's not like he made them good. Did he make them better? Yes, he did. But if he went to a team that wasn't as good, he would have put up the same numbers. And guaranteed, just like every player in the NBA, when somebody is on a bad team and puts up numbers, they say, yeah, but this empty stats, he doesn't impact winning. Go ahead, Kareem.
Tatum is a – whoa.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kareem.
You're projecting. How can you say that Tatum, who's an elite two-way player, if he went to any other team, you have no idea. If he could have gone to another team that's not as good as the Celtics, and that team could easily be a playoff team. We have no idea. He's a dominant two. If you say about his offense or just one end,
you think he's dominant defensively?
He's a quasi-dominant two-way player. We have no idea. Jason Tatum's one of the best players in the league. Like, how are we saying that if you went to
I'm not saying he's not one of the best teams in the league. I'm not saying he's not one of the best teams in the league at all. Go ahead, Kareem.
But here's my analysis on Julius Randle, right? I feel like one of the reasons he's playing well, I don't think he was ever in tip-top shape to do what he wanted to do on the court. Now he's in that shape, he can do it. Second thing, too, if he continues shooting well the way he's been shooting the last 5 to 6 games, that's going to open up other facets of his game. It'll make it easier for him to take people up the dribble and drive to the hole. You know, it's going to open up so much more of his game. But here's the question I got to ask. Who's a better 4 in the Eastern Conference than Randle right now?
Who's a better power forward?
Who's a better 4, yes, than Randle in the Eastern Conference right now?
Kevin Durant.
Maybe, and I'm saying maybe. Oh, yeah.
I would say maybe Kevin Durant. Who else?
The Greek Freak.
Greek Freak.
It depends how you label him.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think Sabonis, maybe Sabonis.
Sabonis, no. Sabonis, no.
Okay, so there's those.
So he would be easily top 5. Julius,
that's the point I was making.
He would be easily top 5.
Yeah.
And my thing is, and I know a lot of people say like, I was kind of waiting. I know we've been banging this franchise topic. Sim, you done created a wildfire.
Yeah. We gonna move on after this call.
I want to throw my 2 cents in, but my thing real quick though, when you say franchise, you got to think it's just more than just. Is he a good player? Does he put up numbers and all of that? It's the intangibles. And then it's just the effect of, in today's world, we understand NBA teams aren't built around one franchise player. Nowadays, you have 2 or 3 franchise players. So to say that Julius isn't a guy that, like Kareem said, and one of the callers said, is he somebody that you would build around? Yes. He's showing us that he's somebody that you can build around. Does he have the offensive and defensive physical prowess to do what he needs to do on any given night and get his own bucket? Yes. So again, does he make the people around him better? Yes. So again, is he somebody that you can put on a jersey that will the back of the name of his jersey and it's going to sell? Yes. So all of these things, Julius, he's marketable. Yes, he is a franchise player. Is he the franchise player? No, that's not that wasn't what I think Sim asked. Is he a franchise player? Yes, Julius is walking into being the New York Knicks franchise player. Yes, he is.
And he's respected by his players as well. His players respect him big time. They like him big time as well. They love him.
And that doesn't mean he doesn't need other players around him. Even Tatum, they brought in Kimball, they played in Kyrie, they played in other players.
All right, let me get to this phone call and we'll put this one.
Did they even make the playoffs at the 2017-18? They make it? They did.
Let me get to this call and we'll go ahead and put this topic to rest. Caller, you live, man. What's popping?
For now.
For now, it's gonna resurface. Caller, what's popping?
Sim,
What's going on, man? How you feeling?
what's good, family?
I'm good. Put this one to rest for us, because we're gonna move on to another topic. Put it to rest for us.
I am so glad you chose me to put this to rest. It couldn't be no other way. I would have to be the one to do this.
Yes, I know.
I
saw it was you calling. I saw it was you calling. I was like, we're gonna let him put it to bed.
But before I put it to bed, let me say peace to the chat. Prince, Steph, Divine. What's today's math? God, Andy, Kareem, Ebenezer, Kevin, Star Trek, G-Mo, all of y'all, Knicks family.
Why you call me
Y'all know
Ebenezer,
Knicks
man?
family for life. But all right, let's cut the pleasantries. When I called you last July,
Yeah.
and I was in pissy fit. I was totally upset. And I remember me and you was talking, and I said, you know what? Let's turn to Russell, and let's turn to Julius Randle. Big body, big boy. I've been watching Randle for a minute. I betrayed Randle so bad last year after watching him be a human bowling pin, knocking people over, right? Not giving him the credit that, you know what? He didn't have the proper coaching and the proper dedication to take him to that next level. Okay? I'm going to draw this parallel because they made a reference last night about who's the last person since Ewing to get the most double-doubles. David Lee was a walking double-double here with the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean 10 points, 10 rebounds. I mean 20 points, 25 points, 15 rebounds, 16 rebounds, night in. The Knicks, he couldn't lift the Knicks past what they won that year, 25 games. Randle is our franchise player. And the second part is, you know why? Look at where he is doing it. There's no lights that are brighter than NYC. Okay? There's 1,000 microphones, and every night he is showing up and showing out. I wouldn't rush to give him a new deal just yet, but in order for him to get past me, there's going to be some money on the table for him.
Okay. You surprised me. I mean, I knew that you had turned and you were supporting him. Like, you know what? I was wrong. I'm da-da-da. Because I remember last year, over the summer, when I was getting ready to do that Coach's Corner on Julius Randle, you called me up. You was like, man, I don't want to see the way you're going to try to do this magic on the screen and make Julius Randle look like this and that and the third. You know.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right. I did chop his back out because I thought he was trying to do too much and not seeing all of the things around him that wasn't going correct. And even better than that, he's got a little bit better talent around him this year.
Mm-hmm.
But Kareem said something. I don't know who spoke to him in the off season, but that man is in super condition.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody told him, and he got his game together. But I just wanted to just chime in for a quick second on that right there. Yeah. Knicks family, I know what it is.